안녕하세요. 여러분의 한국어를 배우는 친구 나탄이에요. 오늘은 아주 인기한 책을 리뷰할 거예요.
어느 책인가? 한국어 배우는 책인가?
그렇죠. 아주 사랑하는 Korean Grammar in Youth 리뷰이죠. Let's get started! Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Natalie and this is my channel Studyberry. Today we're going to be doing a review of Korean Grammar in Use. So this book has so much interest and a lot of you guys have been asking about it. So I thought I would do a quick review of this book. What is this book exactly? As you can tell by the title, this is a grammar book. It's mainly geared for the intermediate levels of TOPIK, so the test of proficiency in Korean. This covers all of the grammar structures and expressions that will be covered on those levels of the test. So as you can see, it's a one big grammar book. Do I think this is a good resource? Yes, I love this book. So who is this book for? I think if you're serious about learning Korean, or if you're preparing for TOPIK, or you want to improve your grammar skills, then this book definitely should be on your shopping list. This goes through all of the grammar that you will need for the intermediate levels of TOPIK and just speaking intermediate level in general. I think this is a very good reference book. You could study it cover to cover, and you can use this for self-study, but I think above all else, it's a good reference. So if you're using other textbooks or other resources for learning Korean and the grammar wasn't explained very well, or you need more advice on how to use it, or maybe it's very similar to other grammars that you've learned, you can look in here and you can find out like the nuances, how it's similar, how it's different, and when you can and cannot use it. So I think this is very, very helpful. I really love how many sample dialogues there are and how many sample sentences, practice questions, and all of that. There's just a lot of practice and a lot of reinforcement so you can really understand those grammar structures and get them in your head and be able to use them. I like that they teach polite language. So occasionally there will be example sentences or sample dialogues that have 반말, so like the informal, impolite language, but I would say like 90% of the time, 95% of the time you're learning polite language. So that is very useful. You can use it in everyday life, and that is awesome. Another cool thing about this book that I found, there are different versions of this book. So this is the English Korean version. There's a Chinese version, Japanese version, German version, and Spanish version so far that I could find. There are different languages, so if English is not your first language, you should go ahead and check out online if they have an edition in your language, because this is so full of just detailed, really good information that I feel like if you are serious about learning Korean, it needs to be on your shelf. Now let's get into some of the negatives, or maybe not as positives about this book. Can you believe there are any? It's such an amazing book. One of the cons of this book is that the English explanations can be a little bit wordy, and I think the reason for that is that Korean professors wrote this book in Korean and the explanations were written by them or by their colleagues who learned English academically. So I feel like the explanations can be kind of academic or really using a lot of big words that seem overly complicated, but I feel like this shouldn't be your only resource when you're studying Korean, so I feel like that can be easily remedied by searching other resources or using a dictionary. Also, if you are living abroad, so if you're not living in Korea, the shipping for this book can be quite expensive. I remember when I ordered this book when I was living in the States, shipping was like $20 just for this one book, and when you're not working or you have a very limited budget, that can be very expensive. So I think those are some of the cons of this book, but overall I think this is a very good book for Korean learners, especially if you are serious about learning Korean. let's get into a flip through of what this book looks like on the inside. Yay! Here is the cover. It's a pretty green color. Here is the spine. Very pretty. As the cover mentions, the grammar points and expressions in this book are appearing on the topic intermediate levels 3 and 4. And there are detailed explanations and plenty of practice exercises. So even someone who is just self-studying, I think this would be a really good resource for you to use. And it comes with MP3 CD for the dialogues. So that is really great. Here we have the title page, the preface in English and Korean, how to use this book in English and Korean. So, as you can see, there are 26 chapters. Each chapter is themed, so expressing recollection, expressing degree, attributes and characteristics, emphasis. They're all grouped by theme. Let's go to chapter 4 and take a look at what it looks like. So here we are at chapter 4. Here are all the grammar structures that are going to be covered, and the theme is expressing reasons. So reasons for doing something or reasons why or how a situation happened. So let's look at the first grammar structure. Let me move my camera. So the first one we have is 거든요. So there's the grammar structure, sample sentence and dialogue, explanation in Korean and English. We have our grammar conjugation chart, several more sample dialogues, and more information about this particular structure. Very helpful. You can practice making dialogues and lots of practice sentences at the back. And that takes you to the next chapter. So that keeps going until the end, where there is a quiz. So you can answer the questions and show what you know. And some of the questions have answers that are very, very similar. So they're seeing if you can guess from the circumstances which grammar structure to use. So I think that's really cool. Now let's go to the back. And the appendix has an answer key, the script for the dialogues, and a grammar index. So the 대화 만들기, the dialogue practice, and the practice questions have answers, as you can see. And if you quickly want to look up a grammar structure, they're listed in the back. And there's a quick review also of each grammar structure and some sample dialogue at the back. And your CD. So that's a little flip through of Korean grammar in use. So just some final thoughts or a review on this book, the things that we've gone over. This is a grammar book, a very good grammar reference book that I feel like you should have if you are serious about learning Korean. That being said, it's a grammar reference. It is not a end-all be-all Korean learning textbook for intermediate level, and it doesn't teach vocabulary, not much vocabulary at all. So this should not be your only resource. If you can only choose a few resources, I think this is definitely one that you should pick up for reinforcing the differences between grammar structures and learning how to speak natural Korean. But I definitely think you will need other resources, especially for vocabulary. I love that this gets into the nuances of grammar and the differences and similarities between the very colorful language of Korean. So I think you should definitely check this out at your local bookstore or check it out online. And that's it for Korean grammar and use. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you have a good day. Happy studying!
Please comment down below if you would like to see more textbook reviews and flip throughs, and please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more Korean, Chinese, and Japanese language learning videos. Have an awesome day!